Okay, so this is the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Teresa finally gets married. Oh, it's about time. So I did have some notes on this show, and it 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 I should have recorded this video last night. And then if I would have, then it wouldn't have been a problem. But because the notes is not with me, I am going to talk about the show from kind of like from the things that I know, and um and then I have the show on silent playing next to me just in case if I need to get triggered. Okay, so let's go from there. By the way, I also listen to a number of podcasts. Carlos King was on a few podcasts, and he also had a recap. He was on, what is it? The two T's. Okay. I know I'm horrible with that. Look, I'm horrible with names. So, um, uh, let me see. Let me see. Um, I think it's, hold on, let me see. It is, he was on, oh, I just can't win. Oh, here we go. Two T's in a pod. Okay, that's what he was on. Um, and they talked before the wedding special. And I think, and so I can kind of recap all that I've heard. I've also watched the Bravo after. And I think the problem I have is that everybody is such a liar. Hey, I think Dolores is the only one that's not a liar. Everybody else is just lying. So we start off with the wedding reception, like the dinner, and Melissa admits that she was invited to that in the after in the Bravo after show. So she admits that she was invited to that, but um okay, but didn't attend. So Teresa has to acknowledge that her brother and sister-in-law are not attending and wants to tell the kids this. And so Gia is like, I'm done. We're done with them. This is just the final straw. Burnt bridges burnt. And Dolores and Jen have a little bit of a conversation with her, and Gia kind of, they bring it up. Gia kind of talks about it a little bit. And I love how Dolores and Jen is like, doesn't really want to get into it with them, which I think is a legit conversation. You don't need to get into it with them, they're children. Even though Gia is a full-fledged adult, she just graduated from Rutgers University, but I still think in my mind, this is not a conversation for them. I just make this statement with my mom and her brothers, and I'm way older than Gia. And I am like, look, here's my 2 cents, and I will say my 2 cents. But at the same token, I exit left and I defer to them because I can't get into I wasn't alive when they were alive and growing up and raised, and I'm not getting into the mix of their relationship. My younger cousin, on the other hand, is the exact opposite of me. She's willing to now that she's gotten older, now that she's been told more, um, she's absolutely wants to get involved in the fray of the relationship, and she gives way more than her 2 cents. And part of the reason why we're not talking at the moment right now, because there's a part of me that I'm always going to respect the fact that their secrets are theirs because it's their relationship, and I'm going to receive all of them for where their positioning is and how they operate, and that just is what it is. Um, so her and I don't see eye to eye on this, and we've gotten into it, and I've even held back because I was like, that's not when we got into it, that I was like, there's still a line I'm not willing to cross because you are not some chick in the street, and at the end of the day, I still love you. These people on this show have zero boundaries. And part of it is because you're on a reality TV show and you're getting paid to destroy each other's relationships. So they go to they have the dinner, which is really, really gorgeous. And I think it's so gorgeous. And it's interesting. Lewis talks about his dad. His dad was mostly an alcoholic. He's just finally gotten clean, which I think is awesome. And they have really truly built a relationship, which is great. So he's, up there speaking. She calls his mom, and she's, Teresa's really emotional about the fact that her mom and dad aren't there. I think, okay, so I don't know when you get over the loss of a parent. And I don't think that I've completely gotten over the loss of my grandmother, and that was 20 years ago. But I think it makes it difficult because in the last few years of her parents' life, she just got out of jail, and then they didn't live much longer after. So I think that throws a monkey wrench into this conversation. And so she's going to have a bit of an issue. I don't this person who's doing her makeup and hair, they are all up in her business, and I don't appreciate it. And you're bringing up the son. Bringing up on the wedding day, you're bringing up your brother not being there, her brother not being there, and be like, that's your only brother. They should be here. And it's like, I don't think this is. Who cares? I think this is irrelevant. And Jen comes along and wants to apologize. She brings this really beautiful gift of having her parents in a picture frame, something that she can carry on her wedding dress, inside of her wedding dress, which I think is gorgeous. And she apologizes for what she thinks is her part in not in telling this rumor, which then leads to all of this going downhill with this major fallout. And Teresa's like, it doesn't really matter. Because here's the thing, and I think that Teresa's right in this aspect. Y'all, because we've been talking about this a lot on Twitter. If the rumor about Melissa cheating didn't come out, let's throw some hypotheticals. There's no rumor about her cheating. would Melissa, and let's just say Melissa, be as genuinely pleasant at this wedding? And I'm going to say no. Melissa and Teresa will never see it for each other. And that just is what it is. They'll like each other sometimes, they won't like each other the next time. And this is and is what it is. So we just need to move past the fact that it's just this one last incident. It's one more incident on top of a bazillion other incidents. And I feel this strongly because especially watching Teresa's conversations in the Bravo after, and see, Melissa to me is bizarre because in the after show, Melissa's like, Teresa could have called us and invited us to the wedding on her wedding day, ma'am. And that's where it's like, I really don't think that we are seeing eye to eye because there's zero possibility that Teresa on her wedding day should be calling and begging for Melissa and Joe to come. I think that's a bridge too far, especially the day before, y'all posting videos and pictures, both of you and your sisters posting videos and picture like not going to the wedding. The wedding's not a big deal. We having more fun here, and all of these negative things on Instagram and stuff like that. You're posting all that the day before, and you're gonna turn around and think that she's supposed to beg you to come on her wedding day. Like, her wedding days are chaos on even a smaller scale. On this scale, when you have a bazillion people doing makeup, her and Louis have way too many groomsmen, way too many people on both sides, like way too many women and men all involved in all these hair and makeup and putting on the clothes. And did you see Teresa's hair? Like, all of these components running around, and somehow she's supposed to start her day begging you to come, only for you to be like, no, or only for you to come. And if you do come, only for you to be like, to have a stank face. Why would she do this? Like, to me, that's illogical. And that's the problem that I have with Melissa, y'all. Like, I'm not drinking it fast enough. It's separating. It makes me sad. Mm. We're not even living on Earth, like, at this point. So, um, everybody has a comment about the hair. Like, everyone's like, it's way too big. There's what, 150 or 1,200 bobby pins, something insane. And 100 and, yeah, it's like 100 or 1,200, one of them. Bobby pins all in the hair. I'm sure it had to be held to take off. And then she goes down the aisle. Everybody's making comments about the hair. Why is Margaret here? I don't know why she invited her, but Margaret is like, I don't feel comfortable being here knowing that Melissa and Joe aren't here. And I think it's cool that everyone kind of shut her down. It was like, okay, I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to think about it. I'm going to just go. And then she, in the middle, because she is driving Jen. So in the middle of the reception, they leave early, which I know that Teresa in the after show, Dolores forces Teresa to get upset, forces for her to admit that she got upset. And I do think that I don't know. I'm not a big wedding person. I don't like going to weddings. So therefore, I am that friend that's going to leave early. And I think people should adjust to this. I'm going to bring a gift. I'm going to be deuces. And I'm not a wedding person. But I wonder if the upsetness is you're not going to get paid for being on the last episode. Anyway, so we are so yeah. So she gets shut down. Okay, so Teresa. So we're at the thing. Teresa has all these dancers at the reception that is half naked, totally inappropriate. So there's that. Um and um her daughters get really upset at the idea of anyone mentioning her brother about the wedding. So I think that that's pretty interesting. I think that the kids are a little bit too involved. But here's the thing, I can go both ways on this. Because the girls were had dealt with this trauma of mom going to jail and then mom being out of jail, dad, all of this, it really probably cemented their relationship really closer. So they're going to be really overprotective of their mom, even though I think that Teresa should have a bit more boundary. I can also understand where they're going to be super overprotective of their mom. Um, and let's see, I'm trying to think of anything that's really pressing. Um, let's see. Uh, let's see if there's anything. Yeah, I can't. I really don't understand why and Marge is there. I think that she shouldn't have been invited. And now Teresa is talking about in the after show that why is she there? Like, why come? And I was like, why was she on the invite list? Um, and uh, let's see, there's, of course, there's all the speeches there. I'm gonna be honest, I do not think, I still don't like Louis, but I'll roll with it. I don't think that the marriage is gonna last, but I'll roll with that too. And look, even if it doesn't last, she's happy in the moment. And if it ends horribly, it'll be on show. So, I mean, I hate to be cynical about this, but I don't like the way he talks to her. But then she turns around and says that he talks to me so much better than the last husband, Joe. And I'm just like, um, the issue that I have is, um, okay, so allegedly, people are getting upset at the fact that, first of all, this three-part documentary is, I mean, three-part reunion is going to be explosive. I've been saying this every single time. It's going to be really ridiculous because this season has been so beyond toxic. So I think that what we're going to get out of this is we're going to get a huge discussion um, on the true rift. And the true rift is that, so this is the rift. Teresa has now watched back all of the seasons. And now she's beginning to kind of put a lot of two and two together because she's just been living her life and she hasn't been thinking about what people have been saying, what they've been saying and doing. Like, so she's only going off of her being in the present of the show. She's not going off of watching and what everyone's doing and saying. So now she's rewatched it. Now she's watched everything first. So I think that's problem number one. And then number two, you now have a bigger issue that's looming. And Caroline has done an interview saying that she knows who talked to the feds. And the other side is now saying, Jacqueline has now openly saying I don't want to say she's saying it, but she's alluding and to Joe being part of talking to the feds. And people are like, and so that's part of the thing where people are saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're going to be using that you're talking about Jacqueline. And the problem, and I understand that concept, but I think the problem is her and Jacqueline has had this large meeting and she's talked about it and they sat down and talked about everything. And so now she's coming to like the understanding that, oh, Jacqueline wasn't backstabbing me. Right. Jacqueline wasn't the backstabber. And it's like, so all of these oh my gosh, I can't believe all of these different things are happening. And so I think that's why we're getting a much more explosive reunion than we probably would have, because it's combined with all of these things. And I honestly, now we're into this conversation of, do we think that the show can go on with, first of all, I'm with Carlos King on this. And my thought on, I'm with Carlos King on this. Carlos is saying we can't do another season with the Melissa and Teresa trying to make up. I'm gonna let you know right now, if I have evidence that that Melissa and Joe talked to the feds at any point in the investigation, beginning, middle, and what, that led to me going to jail. My husband, my ex-husband, that's a different conversation. But me going to jail, then I'm letting you know twofold. We ain't ever gonna say nothing. Okay? We never gonna say 2 words, 1 word, 2 words, one, nothing. The conversation is done, 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 and done. Okay? So there's that. So, yeah. So I don't see where you can have a new season with any of these people. So you're gonna have to make a choice. Teresa, Melissa. And the problem, if you're going to keep Melissa, is what do, like this season, we haven't had one episode. Like Melissa has a store. We've seen it for 15 minutes, less than 15 minutes of an episode. And the whole time she's talking about Teresa and the wedding. We see her giving her daughter a driving lessons. And in that driving lesson, it was, okay, I want to, if you hear anything about Auntie Teresa, then I want you to still have the relationship. Okay, right. So you bring up Teresa then. You have giving her a car, and somehow it's you come back and you and Joe talk about Teresa. So there has not been one scene where we get a true scene of just y'all where there's no talk about Teresa. You have um we have no idea what happened with what happened with the issue when Joe was saying that he was remodeling somebody's house and he never remodeled that house and he just put somebody else's picture on a house and he claimed that he remodeled it. Whatever happened to that? What happened to um the lawsuits of people that you're not paying people? What happened? All alleged. But what happened to all? I mean, there's what happened. Why is it that you keep building houses over and over again? So we're in like what the fourth or fifth house that has been built. Why is that? Like, what you know, we don't get a true, authentic Melissa and Joe story that has nothing to do with Teresa. And that makes it difficult for me to understand why you're going to keep Melissa. But we shall see. I mean, I guess I can't wait to sit with y'all and take notes and talk with you about the 3-part reunion. But it's a lot. So have a great rest of your day.